Hello, everyone. My name is Matt, and I chose the freethinker Charles Fourier. As you all know, we have already brushed over Charles Fourier in a previous module, which was Module 10, Utopian Socialists and Other Pre-Marxian Critics. For those of you who do not remember who Charles Fourier is, however, perhaps this quote will be a good refresher. Hellbronner states Fourier, to be polite, was an eccentric. To be accurate, he was probably off his rocker. If the light bulb is not turned on just yet, that is fine, because it is my job to teach you more about him. Before we fully dive into Charles's unusualness, however, let us start with his upbringing. Charles was born in Bascon, France on April 7, 1772, a time that is smack dab in the middle of the Industrial Revolution. He was the son of a businessman who accumulated a small fortune. When Charles's father passed away in 1781, he inherited that small fortune and decided to use it later on to travel throughout Europe, which eventually brought him to Paris, where he spent some time as a traveling salesman. Hellbronner tells us, however, that this part of his life was a bit of a failure. At some point, it seems that Charles's life was somewhat unguided or lacking the drive to do anything significant. In fact, Hellbronner states Charles only had two passions, flowers and cats. It was not until his later years that he did something significant to stand out on this list of thinkers. But we'll get to that in a bit. For now, we'll talk about the more entertaining portion, him being off his rocker. Charles had a unique look at the world. It was his belief that the world was given a lifespan of 80,000 years, and those years would be split up into eight stages. The first stage was confusion. The second was savagery. The third, patriarchism. The fourth, barbarousness. The fifth was advancement. The sixth was guaranteeism. The seventh was harmony. And then the last stage was utter bliss. Charles goes a little off the rails, so to speak, in the harmony stage. He begins to say things like the sea would turn to lemonade, 6 new moons would form around the earth, and he even believed we would live up to be 140 years old. It was also his belief that 20 of those years would be spent in pursuit of sexual love. Many other things are said, and even a bit weirder, but I think by now it becomes apparent why Hellbronner said he was off his rocker. But enough about that, let us get to the economist's point of view. It was Charles's belief that society should be organized into phalanxes. Hellbronner states that phalanxes are a kind of grand hotel arrangement. This hotel would be scaled by the level of wealth you had, and efficiency would be achieved through centralization. Everybody would be expected to work, but they would do the work they like to do. This idea doesn't sound too bad at first because everybody would be doing something they like. So what could go wrong? Well, the problem is that there's not a job that everyone likes to do. Nevertheless, this utopian idea, however skeptical it seems, actually took off in the world. In fact, Hellbronner states there were over 40 philanthropies that developed within the United States. Unfortunately, these dream world utopias woke up to a bitter reality and did not take root over time. Nonetheless, Charles should be applauded for his free thinking and progressive ideas. Besides what was mentioned earlier, Charles was a strong supporter of women's rights, and he even wanted to eradicate poverty by increasing wages for all. He was definitely a man of the people.